Hello? Where is everybody? Where is everybody? What's going on? It's Varla Jean Merman, you guys. Sit down. Please sit down. No, please. And I'm looking for the 39th annual GLAD Summer Party. It's always here at the Pilgrim Monument, right in Provincetown, Massachusetts. Oh my God. Did I not get the memo or something? I've heard of socially distancing, but this is insane. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, just can't be too safe, right? Ooh. Now my breath smells like white linen. Too bad nobody's here to smell my breath. Well, like I say, I am Varla Jean Merman, and I am the MC. I am the MC for the 39th annual GLAD Summer Party, and I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna go all over Provincetown, wherever, and I am gonna find you. But look, wherever you are, I am so excited that you are here to party for justice. That's right, and raise money for the LGBTQ equality. Yes, equality. Because, ladies and gentlemen, even though the world has kind of stopped in a way, injustice goes on. And the people of GLAD are here to help. Now, let me tell you, there is going to be a fabulous auction tonight. Yes, and so there is a link below, and you can look at all the amazing prizes, amazing prizes, maybe even some tickets to a Varla Jean Merman show, yes. And these are such important causes with GLAD, so look at the link below. And honey, you can get some fabulous deals. Now, I'm gonna check a few other places and see where you guys are. But in the meantime, I would like to introduce a man who needs no introduction. That's right, it's GLAD's executive director, Jansen Wu. Okay, I think this red dress is attracting the bees. Okay, get away from me. Oh God.
Varla, why are you at the monument? We're not in P-Town this year, we're online. Varla? Varla, can you hear me? Am I on mute? Ugh, never mind. If any of you see Varla, please share the link with her. In the meanwhile, welcome to GLAD's 39th annual virtual summer party. I'm Jansen Wu, GLAD's executive director, and I'm so excited you've decided to join us for the next hour. While we may not be able to celebrate together in P-Town, there are so many wonderful things about going virtual. For one, you can join the party from your couch or from the beach. All right, so maybe I'm not actually at the beach, but like everything else in the pandemic, you've got to be resourceful. And at least this drink is real. Another plus of going virtual is that we are so excited to open up this wonderful GLAD tradition to people everywhere. If this is your first GLAD summer party, welcome. And if you're a regular, welcome back. I want to take this moment to thank our amazing host committee and sponsors, including our starfish sponsors, Scott Pomfret and Scott Whittier, and Alex Ritchie and Marty Davis. We're so grateful for all of your support, now more than ever. For the next hour, together, we will celebrate our community through art, music, and laughter. And we'll hear about the impact of GLAD's critical work from some of GLAD's inspiring plaintiffs and trailblazers who have fought for a better future for all of us. And speaking of trailblazers, I'm thrilled to be presenting later GLAD's Community Award to Paul Glass, who was not only there at Stonewall, but has been fighting for Black and Brown LGBTQ people and people living with HIV ever since. This event is also an opportunity for you to support GLAD's mission by making a donation. GLAD is a legal rights organization for the LGBTQ and HIV positive community. Your support allows us to fight in the courts, in legislatures, and through public education in New England and nationally to achieve justice for all. But we can't do it without your continued generosity. Half of our support comes from people like you, so please give at the link below. And don't forget to bid, and bid often, on our silent auction, where you can win exciting prizes such as a year membership in the Defender Wine Club from Equality Vines, a vineyard co-founded by Jim Obergefell, who was the lead plaintiff in the US Supreme Court marriage equality victory 5 years ago. The silent auction runs until Sunday at midnight Eastern Standard Time, so don't let yourself get outbid. Links for the auction and to give are below. But enough from me. We have such an exciting show for you over the next hour. So top off your drinks, because I am so thrilled to introduce our first performer, one of my favorite comedians, Judy Gold.
Hey everyone, it's Judy Gold, and I'm so excited to be a part of this incredible evening. I want to say thank you to GLAAD. GLAAD has been around for over 40 years. I mean, I haven't even been around for 40 years. All right, shut up. That wasn't that funny. But I want to say, as a proud member of the LGBTQ or STUVWXYZ community, it's nice to know that GLAAD is around and has our back. You know, we're an incredible community, and we have gone through and accomplished so much in the equality front, and also I have kids. I have a great family. Who knew when I was a little girl, I never thought that I'd be able to get married and have children. And here we are. Unfortunately, my kids are straight. Look, Barbara Streisand has a gay son. Why does she get everything? Money, talent, and a gay son. Not me, 2 straight sons. 2 straight sons. But anyway, listen, I just want you to know that I did put on makeup for you. I did my hair. It's a big deal. This is a big deal these days. I don't even know how I remembered to put on makeup, but I also put on lipstick. It's been a horrible time. There's some good things about the pandemic, I have to say. I had some people over for dinner a couple of weeks ago, and the night was winding down, and they said, listen, we've got to go. And I didn't have to get up and hug them goodbye. I didn't even walk them to the door. You know what I'm saying? I was like, take care. Have a great evening. The other great thing is that my car is getting 5 months to the gallon. Come on, folks. These are hilarious, hilarious jokes. Anyway, listen, I just want to say I'm so proud to be a part of this incredible community. We're really special people. We are creative, we're smart, we're fun, right? When you think about it, you know, straight people always want to go to gay places because we're fun. Do gay people want to go to straight places? No, because who wants to play darts all night and drink beer? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, if you're coming out, if you're thinking about coming out, if you are questioning yourself, just know that you were born perfect. You are perfect exactly the way you are, and we have your back. And let's stick together. This is an incredible community. Thank you to GLAAD. Thanks for having me. Thank you so much for having me. And so long.
What's up, everybody? This is Spencer Ludwig, and I wish I could be with you all right now. I'm looking forward to celebrating with you in person in the future. Right now, the world is a total mess, and I hope that this song can bring some joy into your world. So, this is Helium.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Sunny days, I got one foot in the grave, but my luck's about to change on this sunny day. Wipe the rain off of my face, 'cause the sadness just a phase. It's a sunny day, yeah. How you gonna stand there while I dance? Brooklyn sky with your future looking bright. Yeah, yeah, like all the time. Do this all the time. Yeah, yeah. Hey, can we do this all the time?
Hey everyone, it's Nicole. Thank you so much for supporting GLAAD tonight. They are an organization that's really, really near and dear to my heart, so it really means the world to see you all supporting them. I have been working with GLAAD since I was in middle school, and the long and short of it is I was at a school that was very, very supportive and we had a great relationship with, and I started transitioning very young and everything was going well. I was using the girls' bathroom until we were challenged by a special interest Christian right group, and the school thought, yeah, okay, well, if Nicole using the girls' bathroom is the issue, then Nicole doesn't have to use the girls' bathroom. So they pulled me out and they stuck me in the staff bathroom and sent a message to the rest of the community that, you know, hey, here's this student who's so different from the rest of you that she cannot be allowed to exist in the same public spaces. And people picked up on that. And it was just a trend that continued for the next 2 years. And we eventually had to move, and my mom and my brother and I packed up and we moved 2 hours south, and my dad had to stay behind to keep his job. And we didn't know what we were going to do. And it was with GLAAD's help that we filed lawsuit on the grounds of unlawful discrimination. And it took 5 years, but, you know, it set a precedent. It went to the highest, it went to Maine State Supreme Court, and they ruled that the school discriminated against me and against my family for my gender identity. And so that's the big, you know, my big history with GLAAD, but they have been friends of ours the whole step of the way, and they supported us when no one else did, and we had nowhere else to turn. And I remember the conversation Jennifer Levi and I had in the bathroom at the Maine State House. We were fighting a bill called LD 1046, and I was to go and talk to as many representatives as I could, and you know, it was a bathroom bill. It was your run of the mill, you know, oh, trans people are scary, oh, bathroom bill. And I was in 8th grade, and I was so nervous, and I had butterflies in my stomach, and I thought I was going to throw up. And it was thanks to Jennifer that I was able to, you know, she talked me off of that ledge, and I was able to do it, and we were able to defeat this bill. And it was really the first time that I was able to use my voice for change, and GLAAD really taught me how to advocate for myself. And I am endlessly thankful to them for that.
Hello again. I'm back from the beach. It's stories like Nicole that inspires me and everyone at GLAAD to keep fighting every day. From paving the way for transgender girls like her to be treated just like every other girl at school, to becoming the first transgender superhero on TV, Nicole has been breaking ground her entire life. Now, imagine if all trans youth had the same opportunity, whether it's participating freely in sports or obtaining the healthcare they need without hostility or discrimination. Imagine if all the LGBTQ youth were supported in their families, their schools, and in their communities, rather than being disproportionately caught up in our juvenile justice and child welfare systems. Imagine if every LGBTQ youth had the same opportunities to grow into their fullest potential, regardless of who they are or how they love. You create that world for the next generation when you give. Please take a moment to give using the link below. Whatever the gift, whatever the size, you are helping create a better and brighter future for LGBTQ youth. You are ensuring that what is ahead of us is better than what came before. Thank you so much for your incredible support. And now, it is with great excitement that I introduce our next performer, diva, icon, and all-around star, Big Frida.
Happy 2020 GLAAD Awards. I'm comedian Emma Willman. You might know me from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I played Beth for 2 seasons, or Colbert, or Netflix A Comedy Lineup, or most likely you have no idea. But this is my mom's kitchen, so we're in a relationship now, lesbians. I wanted to say happy 2020 GLAAD Awards because GLAAD holds a very special place to me. When I came out to my mom, I gave her a pamphlet on Know Your Rights, which GLAAD had created. I'm going to tell you the story. So I came out to my mom at a silent meditation retreat. This is hand to God, on my knees, on my career. This is totally true. I went to a silent meditation retreat called Kripalu with my mom, and at the silent meditation retreat, they had a thing called silent lunch. And my mom and I were sitting across from each other at the silent lunch, and I wanted to come out to her so badly. I was at college, and I had a girlfriend, shout outs to Erica, and I wanted to tell her, but I was so nervous. So I said, I was like, at the silent lunch. I was like, she goes, shh, it's silent lunch. And I was like, I have to tell you something. And she goes, silent lunch, after the lunch. And I was like, since I've been at college, she goes, shh. And I go, since I've been at college, shh. Since I've been at college, I've been dating women. She goes, what? What? And then I was like, silent lunch, get her out of here, get her out. She's disturbing the peace. And she was so, like, she was like, wow. She just couldn't believe I did this at the silent lunch. And then I gave her I was like, here's some information. I was volunteering for gay marriage in Massachusetts at the time. And GLAAD was in the same building. And I picked this pamphlets. So I picked one up. I said, here's some info. So happy GLAAD Awards. Thank you so much for supporting the cause. And my buddy Mateo Lane and I are going to be doing a virtual cocktail thing. If you want to vote on that, you can, check out Mateo and hang out with me and Mateo. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your evening. Mwah! Stay safe.
Oh my God, you guys. I thought I saw Jansen on the beach, but I must have now gone too far. Oh no! What, I gotta pee so bad, Oh gosh. And you know what? Because over the last 4 months, I have absorbed so much antibacterial soap and so much disinfectant that now when I pee, I'm actually cleaning the toilet. Or disinfecting the ocean. Anyway, you guys, enough about me. I am now excited. I'm so excited for you to hear about a critical fight that is happening right now. Okay, ooh, I'm fine now.
So I wanted to start with you, Nick, actually. It's now almost 3 years ago this month when President Trump first announced a ban against transgender people serving in the military. And I know you were getting ready to pursue your dream at that time of serving. Can you tell us a little bit about what it was like for you to hear about the ban?
I know I'll never forget what it was like when that ban was first tweeted out. I was driving through Chicago with my best friend, and I remember him pulling out his phone and reading the tweets to me. And I will just never forget how overwhelmed I was with emotion. I was just shocked and devastated. And it was like, the wind had been taken right out of my sails.
Wow, Nick, that must have been so frustrating. And I heard from so many people who were already serving or getting ready to serve, just like yourself, and how devastating and scary and how sad and tragic, just sad.
Yeah, it absolutely was. And, I understand that your father served in the military. Did that experience have any impact on why you wanted to get involved in fighting against this ban?
It certainly does. I was raised in a military family. My father was a World War II veteran. So I knew the tragedies he went through as a Black soldier, and definitely as a transgender man could correlate those. And if he were alive today, as he protected me as his son, he would protect every transgender American and be in line for that, because that was my father. And that was is my family.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. That's just absolutely incredible. So Jennifer and Shannon, I've known the two of you for quite some time now, but I've always wondered, what is it that made the two of you care so much in challenging this ban and get involved with this? How did you guys know this was the right move?
Yeah, Nick, that's a really good question. I have to give Jennifer a lot of credit. When the president tweeted those awful tweets and that he was going to reinstate a policy that just on its face was overtly discriminatory, I think a lot of people, including myself, had the initial reaction after the shock thinking, this just isn't going to happen. This is just President Trump being himself again and tweeting something out. He's not going to follow through on this. This isn't really going to happen. And Jennifer was so clear and direct with me. Jennifer was like, this is really happening. This is happening. And we have got to jump in right away and stop this.
You know, it wasn't that far into this administration. Of course, the Department of Education had already rescinded that really important guidance that the prior administration had issued to protect transgender students. And it just seemed, it was such a blow. It was so apparent and how devastating this attack was going to be. And I remember the heat of the summer and putting together the work to get that case filed as quickly as we did was just so important. And of course, we've now since seen just waves of attacks on the transgender community by this administration, healthcare regulations under the Affordable Care Act, and of course the draft changes to HUD protections that would authorize the exclusion of transgender people from homeless shelters. I mean, it's devastating and it goes on and on. So it sure did seem like we just had to jump in and fight.
I'm glad that you jumped and saw the fight and got right in and challenged this in the courts, because if you had not, this would have been a battle we would have lost.
Yeah, I mean, we did respond really quickly. We got a lawsuit filed very quickly, and we got a nationwide injunction preventing Trump from enforcing the ban very quickly. And because of the lawsuit, we prevented the ban from going into effect for 2 years. And we also got some incredibly powerful rulings from courts saying that discrimination against transgender people is unconstitutional, that it is impermissible sex discrimination, and that there is no reason to treat transgender people differently than anyone else. So actually, in addition to stopping the ban, we also created some positive legal precedent that probably I'm sure, played some role in getting the U.S. Supreme Court's recent decision in the Bostock case saying that transgender people are protected by sex discrimination laws.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people by now have heard about the outcome in the Bostock case, which is also, as you know, the culmination of decades of work. And having the Supreme Court recognize that discrimination against transgender people is sex discrimination is going to really strengthens our challenge to the military ban as well, and makes it that much harder for the government to justify the ban.
I think one of the other things that has been so important about this case has been, for the first time, people all over the country have had a chance to see people like you, Nick, like transgender people who are either already serving our country or people who want to serve our country. What has that been like for you? I mean, what kind of responses have you gotten when you've been sharing your story?
I just remember this overwhelming amount of love and support from basically everybody I've ever met. Everybody who I know on social media just came forward and just gave me, all the positive responses and comments, and they were reaching out to me on my cell phone. And so many people were saying things to me like, Nick, I had no idea you were transgender. I never would have known, because you're just like anybody else. There's nothing about being transgender that limits you in any way, shape, or form. And that is carried on in my personal life. That's carried on in my professional life. Even when I spent a year involved in Army ROTC, in that entire program, I had a handful of maybe 4 or 5 individuals who knew that I was transgender. And when I was forced to quit the program because of this ban, the response that I received from others in the program was, Cadet Talbot, what happened? Why aren't you here anymore? And they were absolutely blown away to hear that I was transgender, because it had no impact on my ability to do anything. And the same can be said for all transgender people. There's nothing about being transgender that is limiting in any way. We are just like everybody else, and we just want to live our lives like everybody else and have equal opportunities like everybody else.
I just know people have been so moved and so important to get your story out there. And Kyler, you're talking about your family's connection to the military has been so significant. And I know you've also been doing a tremendous amount of work to really lift up the stories of transgender people of color who are serving. And I went through, and TPOC's work has been really terrific. Around that, I was just wondering if you could share a little bit about what you've heard from people.
I think, unlike other veterans who have an avenue for their stories to be told and heard, This is the first time that people are listening to transgender veterans, and particularly transgender veterans of color. There was no opening or gateway for that in our community. We weren't seeking it. We weren't looking for it. And I think that for people of color, it was just another way to hide. Why would I want to bring another harm to me? So I'll just stay silent even more rather than come out and out myself in the military. And now that the veterans that they've founded their groups, their own groups, that they are finding support within each other outside of the military to help each other. And that's been really healing for them and supportive for them. And I think it's been wonderful to see our veterans and our onboarders that want to be come together and lift their heads up high and say, this is who we are, and we're proud of who we are, and we have people supporting us. And we have litigators that are top-notch behind us that are doing this fight.
Thank you. I just, it's been such an incredible honor to get to do this work, to work with people like the three of you, and to lift up the values that are so core to our community: courage, honor, bravery, integrity. I just couldn't imagine, any bigger gift than the chance to work on this case and so many others. So I really appreciate you all talking to me today, and hoping for very good things to come.
Thank you, Nick and Kyler, for your service to justice in our nation, and to Shannon and NCLR for being amazing partners in this fight. GLAAD's legal challenges to Trump's transgender military ban are examples of how we must confront blatant discrimination and calculated attacks head on. This federal administration has spent the last 3 years trying to undo every single gain that we have fought so hard for. But thanks to your support, GLAAD has been fighting back. But the attacks are unrelenting, and we must continue to show up together and meet these challenges with resilience and resistance. That's why I hope you can help with a donation at the link below. Every donation counts, and every amount helps. And with your support, I promise you, GLAAD will never stop fighting for justice and equality for the LGBTQ community.
My name is Linda Bailey Davies, and this is my legally wedded wife, Gloria Bailey Davies. We were one of the 7 plaintiff couples in the Goodridge case for the right to marry, which GLAAD won, as you all know. We met 50 years ago this September, wow, at a children's mental health clinic where we met over the ping pong table, actually. I won't tell you who won. But I'm going to fast forward now to 30 years from then. I needed to have bilateral hip replacement. And what we learned at the time, I wanted Gloria to be with me at the hospital in rehab. And we learned that really it was up to the doctors to decide that, because we were not legal next of kin, which totally frightened us. And the next year we called GLAAD because we felt so insecure and hoped that they might be able to help us. And that's where we met Mary Bonato. And after some discussion, we decided that we would be a plaintiff couple in the lawsuit.
Well, it was quite some discussion, as I recall, because we had 2 weeks to think about it and make a decision. And we were aware that in our hearts we had the passion and really wanted to do it. But we were also very frightened, and we needed to overcome our fears of rejection and possible harassment, even our own physical safety. So that's what we were weighing during those 2 weeks. And Mary Bonato really helped us with that, because she spent time talking with us And what we became aware of is that it was such an inspiration to talk with her. She had such a clarity of vision about what marriage equality should be. She felt it was the right time, and Massachusetts was the right place. And she really was committed to our telling our personal stories as ways to open the hearts and the minds of the people who we really needed to win over in order to get their support. We decided we would become one of the plaintiff couples. And then we had the horrendous time of the next 3.5 years, which were extremely stressful, which we loved doing in many ways, and which was very painful when the opposition would attack us. But again, GLAAD was there. They supported us. Mary checked in with us several times during the month to make sure we were okay. She really, and the other GLAAD staff too, it felt like they were taking us under their wings and being very protective and supportive, which meant the world to us. So that's when we did win the case 3.5 years later. And now, Linda.
Well, the day we got married was definitely the happiest day of our lives, wasn't it? It was just unbelievable. You know, we'd been together 33 years. And yet we felt totally different once we got married. I mean, emotionally we felt different, and we felt safe, finally. We were each other's next of kin, which meant we could protect each other. In fact, just last year I had to have my knees replaced. I can never get this straight. And this time we weren't at all worried about going to the hospital and rehab. We knew that Gloria would be able to be by my side. So GLAAD just means the world to us in terms of what they were able to do in our lives.
They really allowed us to live the life of our dreams. We never could have dreamed that our lives would be like this, not in our lifetimes.
No.
So we are just thrilled to be able to support GLAAD, to thank you for working so hard and so tirelessly on so many LGBT issues, and that a special thanks to all the donors, all of you who have been there with us and with GLAAD over the years. And we're just so thrilled that we can all come together, even in this virtual way, to celebrate GLAAD and to make sure we make it possible for them to do their work over these next coming years.
So thank you.
Thanks.
Hello, everybody. I'm Gerald Good, and I'm so very excited to be performing here at GLAAD's virtual summer party. You know, I married my partner, Chris, in April, and this is the perfect opportunity to express my gratitude to GLAAD for your tireless efforts to win marriage equality. If not for your ongoing commitment to making strides in securing equal rights for the LGBTQ community, marrying the man I love wouldn't even be possible. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that you've done and all that you continue to do for gay rights. This is a song I wrote, and it's called Rocket Ship. I would buy us a rocket ship, set off tonight towards the stars. I would run at the lightning's clip if it meant that I could be where you are. Don't you deny that you would walk upon this wire, 'cause boy, for you I'd stand beside you for our lives entire. If it meant in the morning in my bed you were there. I learned just how to be a better man, study how to hold you up. I would wrap my achy hands around your waist, and I'd tell you that I love you just because. Don't you deny it never felt like this before, 'cause boy with you, I gave up searching for that something more. 'Cause it meant in the morning in my bed you were there. To go on alone, it ain't so easy. You get lost and caught up in the skies. A free fall should never feel so easy, but you held me back to earth, swimming to the tiny oceans in your eyes. Don't you deny there's something real that keeps you near. I'd brave the storms of change and challenge all I fear. Thank God you found me. Thank God you found me. Thank God you found me when you did. 'Cause it meant in the morning in my bed you were there. Thank you.
I am thrilled now to present this year's Summer Party Award to Paul Glass. Paul has been an extraordinary leader in the LGBTQ movement for decades. Paul was there at the 1969 riots at Stonewall Inn, which sparked the LGBTQ rights movement. He founded the organization LGBT Elders of Color and reaches out to and supports older LGBT folks of color, building community through social opportunities and providing vital healthcare and aging resources. He has spent decades organizing and advocating for Black men living with and at risk of HIV and AIDS. His work has brought hope to people when they are in crisis and when they need it most. And though it must have seemed like one uphill battle after another, Paul has never given up. He is an inspiration to all of us. Thank you, Paul, for all you do and for accepting GLAAD's Summer Party Award this year.
Hello, everyone. I'm Paul Glass, president of LGBT Elders of Color. It is such an honor to be recognized by GLAAD. It's the 39th annual summer party that's usually held in P-Town, but this year it's a little different. It's being held virtually. I'm a 70-year-old native Bostonian living on Cape Cod in these unprecedented times. I'm reminded of the 1960s when I was first coming out. The gay community didn't have many rights back then. To be labeled queer was nearly a death sentence and had devastating consequences. It impacted your employment, your housing, and family relations. Black and brown members of the gay community were more often marginalized and disrespected and humiliated by the general public, but more surprisingly, by gay whites too. In the summer of 1969, I was exploring my sexuality on a weekend trip to New York City, where I found myself in Sheridan Square, right smack dab in the middle of the Stonewall uprising. It was the first time anything like that had ever happened on such a scale. Drag queens fought the police and stood their ground, and hundreds of gays and lesbians stood along with them. It was an exhilarating and exciting time, but a scary time at the same time. One thing's for sure, it was a huge victory and it sparked the gay rights movement. A year later, at the Stonewall anniversary, it was celebrated by the first gay march. We've been celebrating LGBTQ prides across this country and around the world for the past 50 years. One thing I've said many times, that we owe a huge debt of gratitude to the transgender community. They were out there on the front lines being brave, and there was some very brave individuals, particularly Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera, who were instrumental in paving the way. For many years, I've been supporting LGBTQ rights and have participated in many events, raising money and awareness for social justice. I lived in New York City for 30 years, and during that time, I can recall 3 significant experiences. One of them was great, and the other 2, well, maybe not so much. The first was in 1981, when my son was born. The following year, I got full custody of him and raised him as a single parent. The second was in 1987, when I was diagnosed with HIV. And the third was in 2001, where I lived and worked in Ground Zero, when the World Trade Center towers were attacked. Well, I consider myself a long-term survivor of all of them. Suffering from PTSD, I returned to Massachusetts in 2003. But it wasn't long before I got involved with organizations advocating for LGBTQ healthcare rights. I was connected with the MOCA, the Men of Color Against AIDS, and the MAC, the Multicultural AIDS Coalition, who were advocating for HIV/AIDS prevention and care, particularly for people of color. It was then, and it continues to be, disproportionately impacted by this disease. In 2014, I got connected with the LGBT Aging Project, where I focused my energies on outreach, support, and advocacy for LGBTQ older adults. There are a lot of gray-haired and bald-headed OGs like me, and that's old guys and old gals who have paid our dues to benefit the LGBTQ community. Some are well known, but there are so many other unsung heroes who deserve to be remembered and treated with respect and dignity for their tremendous contributions. COVID-19 has been impacting all of us. Older adults, especially in communities of color, have been hit the hardest. What seldom gets mentioned is that LGBTQ individuals are among those who were impacted. This pandemic is by no means over or behind us, so we need to stay vigilant in order to safeguard each other until there's a drug or a vaccine to turn things around. More recently, I've been inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement. I'm so proud of the young people who are out there marching and protesting for racial justice and equal rights. I know that change will happen. It's my hope that change will happen soon through new policies and legislation. Real change also needs to happen in the boardrooms of corporations and nonprofit organizations, where racial diversity has been absent for decades. The GLAAD organization has played a significant role in uplifting the LGBTQ plus community. It has provided representation to individuals on a local level and in high profile cases, all the way to the Supreme Court, that have set precedent and have changed the course of history. My husband, Charles Evan, and I are direct beneficiaries of the effort to win marriage equality. We got married in 2012. There's still much work to be done and many challenges ahead. And no doubt, GLAAD will be in the forefront addressing those challenges. With the continued support of the LGBTQ community and its allies, I'm sure that GLAAD will continue to be a beacon of light for all of us. Once again, I'd like to thank GLAAD for this wonderful recognition. Be well, my friends. Stay safe, and God bless. Thank you.
Oh no, you guys. Oh, I still can't find you, and now I've gone way too far. I knew I should have taken that left turn at Albuquerque. Oh, well, I've always wanted to come to Australia and see where they filmed The Sound of Music. Oh, I love that movie. Well, I hope you're having a great time and you're continuing to support GLAD. Yes, and I hope you're remembering to donate at the fabulous auction. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have some wonderful entertainment for you. Even more. Yes. Oh, wait, I think I see the convent. Oh, Fräulein Maria.
Hey guys, I'm Ashley Gavin. I'm so stoked to be doing this. I'm glad to be here in my apartment. I think some of the work that GLAD is doing is super, super cool. I just read that they had made Massachusetts a conversion therapy free zone, which is amazing, incredible work. I'll get to the comedy now because they can do the legal stuff better than I can. And also I'm alone in my apartment. They can't help me with this part of the... Okay, I'm gonna do the comedy now. All right, good. I am gay, obviously. I think it's actually a really great time to be gay, thanks to orgs like GLAD. It is. I am recently single. I just got into a relationship, but I was on all the apps before. I was doing all of them, and I've noticed when I'm on Tinder and stuff like that, men constantly come up in my feed, and I found out why. I don't know if you guys know this, but actually the founder of Tinder was my mother. Anyway, yeah, I tried to spice things up, when I was single. I got invited to a lesbian sex party. Yeah, they're real. Did you know that? They're real. I went. A lesbian orgy. A little disappointing, actually. Just a book club. Yeah, but I did finally get to a point. I'm seeing a new girl. It's pretty cool. It's just that she's a little younger than I am. She's 8 years younger than I am. And I know you might be freaking out because you're like, oh my gosh, how old are you? You know what I mean? You're doing the math because you can't tell how old I am because I have amazing skin. I won't tell you her age, but I will tell you this. She's old enough to drink. She's not old enough to rent a car. There are some cultural differences. Like the other day, she asked me if I was into TikTok. I was like, yeah, that's weed, right? All right, guys, I guess that's my set. I'm Ashley Gavin. If you enjoyed this, I have a podcast every week. It's called We're Having Gay Sex. That feels like it might be relevant to you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kit Yan, and I'm a poet and playwright, and I'm so excited and honored to be here in support and celebration of GLAD and all of the incredible work that they do for justice in our community. I'm dialing in today from Waipio, Hawaii, which is very exciting for me because I am going to read a poem that takes place here and is a story from my family. When my little brother was 6, he wanted a pet for Christmas. At the top of the list, sheep, and then monkey, and then alligator, sloth, hippo. What he got was at the bottom, but still on the list. He got tortoises. The kind that outlive you. The kind at the zoo. The kind you have to write into a will. But Edwin, he loves them. So now we have 2 new members of the family, Josh and Drake. And they love each other. I mean, they really love each other. They love each other so loud that I can't sleep while they love each other. My mom actually once said to me, "Kit, come watch this cute thing that they do. You should record it and enter it into an online video contest." She doesn't understand how much they love each other. And in case you didn't either, well, let me paint this picture for you. Drake, the smaller one, is having lunch. A bright red, juicy tomato. Josh is having Drake right on top of him. Getting it on all tortoise style for years. That's when I told my mom that Josh and Drake were queers. Tortoise lovers, boyfriends, hot mates. I mean, I don't know their label, but I do know that they do the tortoise all day long. They sleep in the same dog glue, and they are really cute together. I tell my mom that everything she raises is queer, which opens up this whole other convo. She says, "Kit, When are you going to have grandchildren? Get. Who are you going to have babies with? Get. Will you consider a man? I need you to know it's important to make family. Well, I get that, Ma. Family has made everything in my life possible. I have plenty of family, all over the world, the ones she knows and the ones I've chosen. And I told her that if I married a man and had a baby with him, that we would be gay and queer, and I would still be with my then girlfriend. Well, she gave that a serious thought. I mean a real serious mom thought, and said, okay. On a 10-minute drive to Grandma's house in Hawaii, I spit it all out, that I like men, people, I'm queer, poly, and I probably want to be pregnant. And it went way better than I thought, because my mom just wants a grandbaby. All this time, while I was living on the mainland, Josh and Drake were having subversive conversations and engaging in queer tortoise activism and blowing my family's minds by openly doing it in our front yard. Yes! Ohana means family, and ours is growing, changing, and working it out. So thanks, Josh and Drake, for doing the tortoise.
I reached out to GLAD after my employer, Walmart, denied me the opportunity to provide medical insurance for my wife. From 2008 till 2012, I tried to add my wife Dee to my coverage, and I was denied each and every time. In 2012, Dee was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. While we were going through the fear of the pain of her diagnosis and the treatment, we also were facing medical bills that were piling up quickly. And while we were going through that heartbreak, we were also dealing with this awful discrimination. We agreed to reach out to GLAD to see if there was something that could be done to make it right, not just for us, but for all of the LGBTQ employees who were being treated so unfairly. We filed a lawsuit that ultimately became a class action lawsuit, and we were successful. In addition to the financial compensation for me and the other class members, I'm extremely proud that we had the courage to take a stand against the discrimination. We get to be part of making sure that the company wouldn't discriminate against LGBTQ employees in the same way ever again. I know that Dee is smiling in the heavens above about what we were able to accomplish together with the help of GLAD. Without the work of GLAD, many people would be continuing to be treated as second-class citizens. The world is unquestionably a better place because of GLAD and the work that they do to make things right for those who have faced the pain of discrimination, and I am so very grateful to them.
I'm Sarah Huckman.
And I'm Tom Huckman. We first reached out to GLAD when Sarah's middle school refused to let her use the girls' restroom. GLAD supported us in advocating for her to be treated as just as any other girl in the school would be. Then when Sarah went to high school, we needed GLAD's help again so that Sarah could participate on the girls' track team and cross-country team. GLAD was so gracious to help us out, and we were thrilled to have them in our corner.
All of those experiences really showed me the importance of being an activist for myself and others. When I had the chance to work on passing the transgender non-discrimination bill back in 2018, I was glad to work alongside GLAD and Freedom New Hampshire on getting it done.
So Sarah's mom and I are just, so proud of her and all that she's done. She spoke out for herself and other trans students, sharing her story, testifying to stop a cruel bill that would prevent trans kids from participating in sports. And GLAD was there to fight that with us, and we were super thankful for that.
I just want trans youth to know that they're valuable and you guys are valid. Keep being you. Don't stop. Don't change. Keep doing things that make you happy. You just need to know that GLAD is in your corner, just like they were in my corner and my family's corner.
So we hope that you all out there will support GLAD and they can keep advocating for fair treatment of people everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Sarah, for reminding us that the most important thing we can do right now during these challenging times is to make sure that every single person in our community is valued and that we all take care of each other. And there are so many ways to do so, whether that's taking care of our loved ones by not settling for discrimination like our plaintiff Jackie did and wound up creating change for thousands of LGBTQ workers, or whether it's through protest and activism, as today's honoree Paul Glass has been doing since Stonewall, or whether it's by supporting organizations like GLAD that is fighting every day for our rights. We're fighting and winning to ensure that all families can be legally affirmed and protected no matter how they are formed, like we did with the passage of the Rhode Island Parentage Act just this week. We're fighting to make sure everyone can access ID that matches who they are. And we just got one more state, Maine, to allow non-binary markers on birth certificates. And we're fighting to create real change in our child welfare and juvenile justice systems that disproportionately impact Black and Latinx LGBTQ youth. And so much more. We must all fight for and take care of each other today and every day. And you have one last opportunity today to take care of each other through your support of GLAD. If you haven't yet, or if you're inspired to give again, please give at the link below. Each and every donation matters in our fight for equal justice for all. We are at the end of our time together, so thank you for spending your afternoon with us, even if Marla Jean never actually caught up with us. Here, for our final performance of the day, are Broadway stars Christine Dwyer and Matt DeAngelis. Thank you to all of our performers for donating your time and talents today, and thank you to all of you for joining us today and for your generous support of GLAD. Be well and take care of yourselves and each other.
Hi, I'm Matt DeAngelis from Hair and from Waitress.
I'm Christine Dwyer from Wicked and from Waitress, and we are so excited to be a part of GLAD's 39th annual summer party. GLAD has always done incredible work for our LGBTQ community, and that work becomes increasingly more important every day as we continue the fight for social justice.
And we are especially humbled and grateful to be asked to be a part of this wonderful evening, as we are both born and raised in the Boston area. So we would like you to know that we love you, we see you, we support you, and you matter to us. I can find the whole meaning of life in those sad eyes. They've seen things you never quite say, but I hear, come out of hiding, I'm right here beside you. And I'll stay there as long as you'll let me, because you matter to me. Simple and plain and not much to ask from somebody. I promise you do, you'll see. You matter to me.
It's addictive the minute you let yourself think. The things that I say just might matter to someone. All of this time I've been keeping my mind
that much to ask from somebody. You matter to me. I promise you, come out of hiding. I'm right here beside you. As long as you'll have me, I do. Promise you do. You matter to me. You'll see. You matter to
I have no idea why this bar is so empty. I made it back to Provincetown, but no one's out. Oh, well, I decided to make myself a drink anyway. Well, I guess I'm not gonna find you guys this year. Oh, it's a bummer, right? But let me tell you, we will be together again. And we all just need to have hope. Cheers, everyone, and thank you. I hope you had a good time. I had a great time looking for you all night. And I just want to thank you so much, wherever you are. Thank you. Thank you for being part of the GLAD family and being a leader in the fight for justice. GLAD does so many wonderful things, and now you are a part of that cause, you guys. So please continue to donate at the link below. And I just want to say, I cannot wait until we are all together again. Cheers. Oh, wait a second. You never can be too careful.